Big shiny jet plane in the sky. Please drop us off as we fly by. We're an American band, and everything is rocking out of control when we hit Japan.
Previously on Famicom Dojo.
This is awkward. Damn, we really screwed this thing up.
Would it be awkward if I asked him to hold hands while we hosted?
Can you just forget this last year and we'll do it again? Is he gonna ask or not? This is awkward. Microsoft once again, like last year, had a fantastic booth. They had fantastic girls working at the booth. They had tons of games, like way more than... They had more games than the Sony PlayStation 3, right?
I believe,
Yes. It was close. It was close. Even though they have a tiny, tiny, tiny Japanese presence. I think Soul Calibur, Devil May Cry, they're multi-platform, but they look great. Lost Odyssey, which is revealed to be on, was it 4 DVDs? I mean, it's a huge game. Just huge game. It's so big it would fit on multiple Blu-rays, even. So, like... But even the booth, as great as it was great for me because there were tons of Western games. Like, I mean, they were showing off Guitar Hero 3, and like the foreign press is like, wow, looks great, and the Japanese people are like, oh, it's Guitar Freaks. We had this 8 years ago.
Tell me not to rock out too hard, because if I do, I might break the machine.
Oh, alright.
If Microsoft knows it. If they're going to spend that much money at the Tokyo Game Show, they're going to make it very foreigner-friendly. They had a lot of English-speaking staff, and in fact, some of the games were not even Japanese localized. They were the English versions. Alright, again, as we mentioned before, Nintendo wasn't there at all. But, Sean, what happened?
Well, we luckily were able to get some footage from their Retro Game Awards show, which was basically hosted by Game Center CX, and their figurehead Shinya Arino, who was a surprise guest to the show, and comes out on stage, and they
says his catchphrase.
Which I'd never heard before.
And everyone in the audience said along
nuts.
with him. Yeah,
It's amazing. But they proceeded to go through some retro games, which they mentioned several times for different awards, such as Ghosts and Goblins, Spelunker, Zelda, Super Mario Brothers.
That one with Beat Takeshi, I can't remember the name.
Oh yes. So several awards are handed out. Kojima got one for the original Metal Gear, and of course Ghosts and Goblins won as well.
Yep.
But naturally, with 2 Nintendo titles on the roster, how could one of them not win? So Super Mario Brothers was announced, and Mr. Shigeru Miyamoto himself comes out on stage.
And the crowd goes bananas. It was crazy. The people behind me were like, no, really? Sugoi! They were just freaking out, or whatever, and cameras just exploded in flashes, and because we being the press, I am king of the press. But we being the press got these flyers that said who all was going to be there, and I'm sure the foreign press got it too. But the attendees who were there had no idea, and no one expected it because Nintendo wasn't there. But it was talked about for the rest of the show. Oh, even the next day, everyone was like, "Did you know Miyamoto was here yesterday?" They weren't saying things like, "Do you know Kaz Hirai's here today, walking around?" No reaction, or you know, but they were like, Miyamoto was here for 10 minutes yesterday, And so Nintendo won TGS without even showing up.
With only 8% of Wii titles and maybe 17 in DS, that's really impressive.
It's incredibly impressive. And the Japanese press was picking up on this too. My girlfriend was watching TV, and she was talking about how the press was coming and going, and talking about how it used to always be a Sony show, but now it's become a Nintendo show. And I'm like, Nintendo didn't even show up! How did it become a Nintendo show? Last year when I went to TGS, I was covering Xbox 360 and the PlayStation 3 games, which I was really excited to be playing for the first time. And at that time, everyone thought the PlayStation 3 was going to win, but that Wii was going to do good. There was a lot of buzz for Wii, but it was Sony's show, you know. And this year, Sony had the same size booth, and they had, you know, they had the keynote, they had everything, but they just didn't have the excitement. They just didn't have the excitement. Not to downplay Sony entirely, Uncharted, Drake's Fortune, very good game. A few of the PSN download titles, like Pixel Junk Racers, I thought was really fun.
Absolutely fantastic.
The price is right, you know. This is exactly what Nintendo needs to do when they do launch WiiWare, is to get some of these titles that, you know, are just, you know, fun original games. I think I was more impressed with the PSN download games than I was with most of the multi-platform games, and that's just because they are multi-platform, so there's not, you know, as much to talk about.
Oh, and we even got to meet the creator of the Pixel Junk game.
We did. We did.
We took him somewhere. Where was that again?
Gosh, the station.
Oh.
But yeah, we got to hang out around with the creators of Pixel Junk Racers afterwards. It plays much like slot car games. It was really fun.
If you ever play the Micro Machine game on NES, it's a lot like that, except prettier. And I think so. You know, it's just top-down racing around a track. Yeah.
But
Is that Micro Machines?
Well, unlike other racing games, though, you don't actually steer your car in any way. You just press the button to change lanes and avoid other cars. But yeah, it looked very much like the Micro Machines.
Well, why don't I cut that out?
So, final thoughts. Tokyo Game Show was a wonderful opportunity. I got to play a lot of really good games, but more so than that, I got to, you know, just experience the Japanese game scene. A little of it's a bit scary. There's a lot of emphasis on touching of young girls and things like that, but for the most part, you know, it's a really nice environment. It gives a lot of people who are gamers a chance to, you know, connect with other gamers and not feel isolated. They put a lot of work into it, and I was just really happy to be there at what has become the largest game show in the world.
Yeah, now that E3 is turned into this industry-only event, there's not anything like this anywhere else. And so, having never gone to one of these myself before, I found it fascinating, and being able to bring it to everyone else is really a great pleasure. But I had a pretty personal experience playing a certain Porsche game.
Did you ever get her number?
I did not get her number. It's unfortunate.
That's a missed opportunity.
The long distance bill would have been horrendous, though.
Oh well.
Indeed. No, but there was this really cool Porsche game which licensed all the vehicles.
You don't even like Porsche.
I don't even like Porsche. But it was really cool. As this representative explains to me, the wheel was actually created to the specifications of the actual Porsche steering wheel, and it was even stitched with leather. The bucket seats we got to sit in were just like the car seats.
It's going to be an expensive game.
It's a very expensive game.
But like, if you are a car enthusiast, this is by far the finest car sim I've ever seen. Okay, we're already 25 minutes past when the hotel manager said we had to be out, so I'm going to take a quick shower, and then we'll be heading out of here.
So, from Jeep Prefecture in Japan, this is SeanOrange
And Vinnk.
and we'll see you next time.
See you next time. Goodbye.
When we hit Japan.
Famicom Dojo 次回
This is awkward.
Is he gonna ask or not? This is the interior of my nose. This is the interior of my nose. It's full of poison.